Hi there, my name is Robert Banks, co-founder of BuildDirect. How-to videos are great to show you how to do things. I love them. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to show you how not to install a floor. Came across a job site here that had installed some, or is in the process of installing some engineered flooring that was purchased from BuildDirect. But I found quite a few things that I'd like to point out to you, and hopefully you won't make the same mistakes and have some of the same challenges. This is an engineered floor, but most of what I will say will apply to hardwood flooring, engineered flooring, laminate flooring, any hard surface flooring installation, because it's mostly around preparation and really thinking the project through before you start. Most of the problems can be solved before you even begin the installation. So let's get into some of the details. Okay, so you've ordered your floor, whatever type of flooring that might be, it arrives at your house. The first thing you do is you make sure you got the right floor. You don't want to be installing the wrong color or the wrong grade. So you open up a few boxes, you check the labels, and make sure it is what you actually ordered. Number two, you don't just start installing. You're going to need to acclimate the product. That means it needs time to sit in the room for 24, 48 hours to 7 days or even longer, depending on your environment. Look at your installation instructions from whatever company you buy the flooring from or from the BuildDirect website, and make sure that whatever product you're getting acclimates in the environment for the proper period of time. And this just makes sure that the movement is going to be reduced and you're not going to be putting in something, a product that's going to move a whole bunch once it gets used to the environment. Finally, you want to start focusing on site preparation. Okay, what do your rooms look like? Are the subfloor level? Is it clean? And if it's not level, you have to take action to make sure that it is level, and that's a different video for a different time. But making sure that the environment is clean, ready for a good installation, making sure you have all the proper tools in advance to do your cuts and to do whatever it is you're going to need to do in whatever type of installation you've chosen. All of those things are readily available on your installation instructions that either come with the product or is available on the website. So in this video, we're going to show you specific examples of what not to do and how to avoid these problems. Let's get started. When you're first starting, you want to look at your room and decide where you're going to start installing, which wall you're going to start installing off of. And let's talk about walls. Walls, to the naked eye, this wall looks like it's straight. The reality is, most walls, particularly in a renovation, the walls are not straight. Okay, so you can't trust the wall being perfectly straight and then working your installation off of that wall, because you're going to end up with problems. Your floor is going to, fade away from you, or it's going to fall off this wall. So the way you avoid that is you drop a chalk line. Okay, and that's something, again, you can look it up on Google, you can look it up on our website, how to drop a chalk line. But a chalk line is going to be a true line for you to start the installation from. So unless find out if the wall is perfectly straight, and if it is, great, you can install off that wall. But I strongly recommend that you drop a chalk line first, and that'll give you a true straight line on which to start the installation from. Okay, so let's assume that the wall is either straight or you dropped your chalk line, so you're going to have a straight line to start off of. Okay, so now let's look at the materials that you're going to use to install and make sure your room has really nice flow. Okay, so you can either buy product that has fixed lengths, or you can buy product that has random lengths. A lot of the products in the marketplace for solid hardwood or engineered do have random lengths. So you need to assess the materials that you have. Random length means you'll have some pieces that are 1 foot or 12 inches, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, maybe 5 feet, 6 feet. It depends on the product that you've purchased. So when you're installing, to make sure your room's going to flow, the longer planks are usually visually more attractive, right? So you want to save those to either, for the center of the room, or put them in locations that people are going to see them the most. The shorter planks, you tend to want to hide them a bit. Right? So you want to put those in closets, or you want to put them in the corner, or you want to put them in areas that you know furniture is going to be, or you know a dresser is going to be. You want to put those out of the way whenever you can. And that, again, you're thinking about what's the flow of the room going to look like. So at this particular installation, 7 rows of product have been installed, and I want to show you how there's no flow in how they laid this out. They didn't plan this properly, and hopefully you can avoid doing the same mistake. So here's an example of poor flow. Starting on the first line, which is extremely important, the whole room's going to come off of that first line. There's several pieces in a row here that are short pieces. And then when the next row comes up, they've put another short piece in beside these 3 other short pieces. So you have a cluster of 4 short pieces, and you can see it just doesn't look right, and it just looks choppy. So of particular concern for a visual look, these boards just haven't been staggered. The visual is just not right. Take a look. Seam here, seam joint here. They should never be this close. You need at least, ideally I think 8 inches. You can get away with 5 or 6 inches, some people say, but I'm thinking 8 inches on your staggered gaps throughout the floor. Still talking about the first row here, you need to measure your room, and then you need to do a dry fit run. So what that means is you want to know when you're done installing off your first wall, what is the last board going to look like against the far wall? And there's a concept called ripping a board. And ripping a board just means cutting a board along the length of the board. Okay, so cutting it up the middle, let's say. If you're going to do a cut, you need to make sure that if say it's a 5-inch wide plank, that there's enough left on your cut when you rip the board to be installed, either staple, click lock, or glued together to that final plank. And so you don't want to have a 1-inch strip. You want to have, ideally, a couple of inches that there's enough for structural integrity there. So if you're going to rip a board, you want to rip a board to start with and at the end to make sure that you're as close to the middle as possible. So still with the first row here, again, planning your cuts out in advance, you need to stagger your boards properly. So when you have a post like this or a register, that you're doing your cut in the center of a board, not too far to the end, because there just might not be enough meat at the end of this to keep the structural integrity years down the road. So you want ideally to always cut in the center and make sure that the board is still going to be structurally strong for many years to come. And that goes for posts, that goes for registers. Almost every home installation will have to have some sort of cut in the install, and you need to plan that out before you start the job. So when you're installing a floor, you must use spacers. Okay, you need to be able to give your floor engineered hardwood, laminate, bamboo, cork, whatever floor you're installing, particularly in a floating floor application, you need to be away from any solid structure, i.e. your wall. You typically need to be 3/8 of an inch away, but you could be 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, depending on the product you're installing. Look at your installation instructions. But 3/8 of an inch is a good gauge, so let's take a look. In this installation, they used a spacer here for these 2 boards. That's great. They're at 1/2 inch away from the wall. Perfect. Over there, they used another one, but they didn't use it on every board. So you can see already on this first row that it's getting too close to the end board. This is one end of the application. Let's go take a look at the other end of the application. They didn't use spacers there. Let's see what happened. So down at this end, we have all the rows have ended up butting against the wall. And when time comes that this product's going to want to move, it's not going to have anywhere to go. So you're going to have buckling pressure. The product's going to move. Wood wants to move, and when it moves and has nowhere to go, you have problems. Buckling, bubbling and different problems like that. So always use your spacers and against any solid structure. Different installation methods you can do when installing a floor. They could be a click together, there could be a nail down or staple down, you can glue it down, or you can glue the seams and float the floor. So this particular installation was a floating floor, seams glued installation. The issue is they didn't strap the floor, or they didn't put down painter's tape or masking tape to hold sections of the floor together to let the glue to set. So what ended up happening once they left is the board slowly started to pull apart. Then it set, and we have permanent gaps in the floor. Okay, so we're almost at the end now. So you're doing your installation. A friend of mine mentioned, installing a floor is not like having a dinner party. You can have a dinner party and you can leave the dishes to clean up the next day. That's no big deal. You can't do that when you're installing a floor. You need to clean up as you go. If glue or adhesive's involved, if it gets on the surface of your floor, you need to clean it up on the spot. You can't leave it for another day because it won't come off and it'll be a real pain to solve that. Okay, so make sure you're cleaning as you go. So that's us. I love how-to videos. This has turned into a how not to video, and really this floor needs to be torn up and these boards are going to be thrown away. This is an expensive lesson to learn. Okay, so the reason we did this video, the reason I really wanted to show you this is you as our customer, I don't want you to have the same expensive mistake. We just don't, we all, it's expensive lessons to learn, and hopefully you don't have to make some of these similar mistakes and have to throw some boards away. So to recap, just take your time, plan out your project beforehand. Do your measurements, do some dry runs, make sure you have the right product, make sure you have the right grade. If there's color variation, make sure you're staggering those in advance. Different lengths of boards, pull the best, longest boards out and make sure you have a plan for where those are going to show up in your room. Just go for flow. You're looking for a beautiful, nice flowing floor. This is going to transform your space, and it's a great opportunity. So you're not going to do this every day. This is an opportunity for really to make your home a special place for you and your family. And so just take that extra time up front to prepare. Have the right tools, make the right cuts in advance, use your spacers, all these things that we've talked about in this video. And please come to our website or give us a call and email us any questions you might have, and always follow the installation instructions. My name is Robert Banks, co-founder BuildDirect. Please have a great day.